couple of the ones you ought to know. Hi, Michael. We love learning a little bit more about our cars each and every week, and we've got some great questions on the horizon. Let's get to them. The first question this afternoon is coming from Kelly. She says, I recently had my 2019 Honda Accord in for an oil change and tire rotation. They said my brake fluid, transmission fluid, engine filter, air conditioning filter all needed replaced. She replaced the filters, but not the fluid. She also says she's nervous that she should have done that, and how does she know when it's necessary and not just an upsell? And you must hear this a lot.
I do. So the value proposition of what you're spending your money on is important, right? You want to make sure you're getting the best return on that investment. Let's break down what you have, Kelly. A 2019 Honda is about 5 years old. The brake fluid should be changed every 2 years. So if that's something you haven't done, I'd absolutely advocate for changing that. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, which means it absorbs moisture from the air. While technically it is a sealed system, there is a little vent in the cap to allow air to come in and out so we don't build pressure in the reservoir of the master cylinder with the fluid. So there's a little bit of moisture that gets in there, and over time, that little bit of moisture adds up and can cause some problems. As far as the transmission fluid, I'm not sure how many miles are on the car, but it's 5 years old and an average of about 8,000 to 10,000 miles a year. You're over 50,000 miles. I'd say that's a good solid time to start looking at changing your transmission fluid. And if somebody had checked it and is recommending it at this time, I think that's a great time to do it.
But I think this all goes back to finding that mechanic that you trust, right? And we talk about that a lot here.
So when we present things, it's real hard to hear what's going on with your car when you brought it in for, say, an oil change and a tire rotation, right? And now there's these other ancillary things to the customer, but they're not really ancillary. What I look at is when we're presenting to our customer what we see, the first thing that we present to them is the thing that's most important, and that's what they came in for, because that's what they asked us to do for them. They said, I want to spend my money and I want you to do this. So that's what we present first. The second thing that we'll present is anything that needs immediate attention. So any safety related item here goes in this category, and we're going to let you know about that. If it's going to cause your vehicle to be unsafe or cause a breakdown immediately, so say a battery cable that's really, really corroded, or a belt that's frayed and almost ready to come off, or you have a leak that is very, very bad. We're going to let you know about that next. And that's the order of importance, really.
Yeah.
The third thing that we put out, which is not as important as those first two, but it is equally important, and I'll tell you why, is any maintenance items. But we present those in that third category because after the other two are done, if there's anything left over, we should take care of these things. And it's not that transmission fluid, Kelly, is going to cause your transmission not to shift tomorrow. It's the wear that it will cause when we don't change the fluid when it's worn out. Right?
Nice to have that breakdown, though, of what really needs attention, what,
Exactly.
That's nice to see that. All right, let's get to our next question, because this one's also, I think, really good as well. I drive a 2016 Impala. Today, I'm fighting a TPMS light. I set the pressure per the sticker on the door, but within a few days, the light returns. Sometimes I need to lower the pressure. Sometimes I need to add pressure. Finding it extremely frustrating because the rest of the car is flawless. So this is coming in from John.
John, we see this a lot with people, especially that go to a gas station to fill up their tires. Those inflators, the gauges aren't terribly accurate.
Okay.
When we inflate your tire, our goal is to have it as close to the ambient temperature as possible. So we'd like it to sit for a little bit and to get that temperature of the rubber in the tire down a little bit. For every 10 degrees your tire goes up, or ambient pressure goes up, ambient temperature goes up, your pressure will go up 1 degree. And with those tires, I suspect you might be filling it when they're warm. So we might be overinflating them slightly, not at the time, but when they cool down, it's just not quite where it needs to be. When we check them with a digital gauge. That is the most accurate way of checking our tires today. We used to use just that pressure gauge with that wand on it, the old school, but it's not as accurate as the computer in the car that's going to turn that light on. So when we set those tire pressures, we have to be as accurate as that computer.
Sure. All right. All good advice. And you can get it for free by submitting those questions. Ask at